Good evening, everyone. First Alert StormTeam meteorologist Joseph Williams with your Valley News Now evening forecast. And the time is currently 8:16 p.m. and the temperature is 2 below out in the Fargo-Moorhead area, seeing similar temperatures across the region. So it is cold outside this evening, and we'll see temperatures dropping as we head into the overnight hours. So just wanted to give a quick update on what's happening currently. Still looking at a quiet night ahead of us, but it's going to be a dangerously cold one once again. While it's not going to be as cold as it was Friday morning, this past Friday morning, it's still going to be frigid outside, and Monday morning will be almost as cold in some spots, so it is going to be cold out there. So I'm going to get right to the forecast to explain a little bit. Again, this was what we saw this morning. Lows were in the teens below zero out in eastern North Dakota, such as 16 below in Fargo, versus 20s in northwest Minnesota, like 26 below in Fosston. So it was chilly out there. And our highs today, we did warm up. We were warmer yesterday. We were warmer today compared to yesterday, but we still saw temperatures in the low single digits out in southeastern North Dakota, and in northwest Minnesota, we were still in the sub-zero range. So it was still very cold if you were heading outside today, and that led to wind chills in the teens below zero in many spots. So it felt like the teens below zero, like the Arctic air never really went away, and that's because we're still under this Arctic air mass, and that's going to continue through Monday morning. Still dealing with that Arctic air, dangerous cold, and here's a quick look at what I'm talking about. Again, that Arctic air will linger through this Saturday night into Sunday. It's not until late Monday morning that it briefly pushes out of our region, allowing temperatures to rise back into the teens. So we're still dealing with sub-zero temperatures overnight into Sunday and Monday morning, leading to wind chills in the 30s below zero. Some areas may see wind chills in the 40s below zero for Sunday morning, and that could lead to frostbite in about 5 to 10 minutes. Here's a look at our alerts to kind of explain a little bit more. Still that extreme cold warning in northeast North Dakota, Northern Valley, and northwest Minnesota. That will stick around until noon Sunday, and that's because for Sunday morning, some areas may see wind chills in the 40s below zero, maybe even 50s below zero. I suspect that those 50 below zero readings will be at the international border closest to that Arctic air mass. Now, we do have cold weather advisories for the rest of our region, more or less, except for the James River Valley. And what's going on is that in the Northern Valley, where we have that extreme cold warning, well, that extreme cold warning lasts until noon. And after noon Sunday, it'll switch over into a cold weather advisory in the Northern Valley that lasts until 9 a.m. Monday. In the Southern Valley, meanwhile, such as in Cass and Clay counties, for example, they're currently under a cold weather advisory as of Saturday night, and that's going to last until 9 a.m. Monday. So generally, we're going to be under some form of a cold weather alert until Monday morning, and that's because, again, those dangerously low wind chills that can lead to frostbite in minutes. Here's the culprit. We got this high pressure system. We had two high pressure systems. The high pressure system, the first round that swept into the northern plains on this Friday, it's to the east of us. Second round is bringing another shot of Arctic air into a region. That's going to lead to those wind chills in the 40s below zero. And this is in the heart of another slightly weaker Arctic air mass, but almost as potent as our first round. It's making its way into the northern plains. That's why we're going to be seeing those dangerously cold temperatures. And you know, it's also nighttime. It's getting to the nighttime. We're losing that daytime heating, and so the air temperature is taking a dive. We're seeing temperatures in the teens below zero in Langdon and Roseau, for example. So those areas are very frigid. Even in Fargo, we're dealing with a temperature of 2 below. Jamestown at 7 below. And so with temperatures this low, you know, a light wind is all you need to really get those frigid temperatures. Out in Langdon, feels like 35 below. So we're already starting to see some of that dangerously cold air pushing into that area. And the rest of our region generally seeing wind chills in the teens and 20s below zero. So the temperature is decreasing as we head into tonight, and in turn, the wind chill is decreasing too. Now, I want to first alert you to the fact that, again, we'll see that first alert weather day continue into Monday morning with that extreme cold chills in the 30s to 40s below zero. And then for the rest of the week, we're dealing with cold mornings, sub-zero morning temperatures, especially towards the end of the week when another shot of Arctic air sweeps into a region. Rising temperatures are expected towards the weekend, though, so that is the good news. So let's go over a regional forecast to show you what I mean. Again, for your Sunday morning commute, we're looking at temperatures in the 20s below zero out in northeast North Dakota, the Northern Valley, northwest Minnesota, such as 25 below and a wind chill 44 below in Devil's Lake, 24 below for the air temperature, 44 below for the wind chill in Lakota, northwest Minnesota, 21 below and 39 below for the temperature and wind chill in Thief River Falls, and down south, generally upper single digits to mid-teens below zero for the air temperature, and wind chills in the 20s to 30s below zero for the wind chill again, such as 15 below and 35 below in Fargo. So the northern areas, again, they're expecting the colder temperatures compared to the southern areas, but even the southern areas will still see wind chills in the 30s below zero at spots. And here's a look at a wind chill forecast to show you what I mean. Overnight into Sunday morning, we'll see that temperature dropping by around 9 to 10 o'clock. We're looking at wind chills in the 40s. No, we're looking at wind chills in the 40s below zero up north. Some areas may see wind chills in the 50s below zero out of the international border. Meanwhile, the southern areas will see wind chills in the 30s below zero at the coldest. So if you're in Fargo, for example, it is going to be frigid outside. The Sunday morning commute is going to be cold. By Sunday afternoon, wind chills are back in the 20s to 30s below zero. So we will warm up, quote unquote, but it's still going to be cold outside. And heading into Monday morning commute, we're still looking at wind chills in the 30s below zero across our region, maybe a couple of 40s below zero out in northwest Minnesota, such as in Thief River Falls, for example. But by the afternoon hours, daytime heating does take hold, and that causes temperatures and that causes the wind chill in turn to rise. We'll be seeing wind chills probably in the single digits to low teens below zero for Monday afternoon instead of these 30s and 40s below zero. So in other words, a bitterly cold start to the week, but Monday afternoon will be much more manageable. Aside from that, not much to talk about, at least for Sunday. It's just mainly that cold Arctic air. By around 7 o'clock, again, dealing with air temperatures in the teens and 20s below zero in some parts of our region. But notice that the cloud cover is also breaking up for your Sunday morning commute. We're looking at plenty of sunshine for Sunday afternoon. Sunday afternoon not looking bad. Gorgeous weather indeed. It's just, again, that dangerous cold that we're first alert tracking. Now, I briefly mentioned how towards the end of the week, we are looking at some bitterly cold mornings towards the end of the week. This is what I'm talking about. Our next weather maker will likely come this Thursday and Friday. Brief cold snap. It's not going to be as frigid as this weekend, but we're still probably looking at some bitterly cold temperatures. And here's what I mean with our cold weather pattern forecast right here. Again, right at the fringes of this Arctic air, and so we'll see sub-zero morning lows, highs in the single digits for our region throughout Tuesday and Wednesday, and even Thursday afternoon. Then Thursday morning and Friday morning, though, notice some of those pinks and white colors infiltrating our region towards the end of the week. It's not until the weekend that we're back in the blue color, indicating milder temperatures heading our way, and that's basically because of that second shot of Arctic air. It will be weaker than this round, but it's still a shot of Arctic air, and here's what that does to our lows over the next few days. Tuesday morning, lows will be in the sub-zero range. Wednesday morning, sub-zero range once again. Thursday morning, seeing lows in the low teens, possible in parts of the Northern Valley, northwest Minnesota. That's what this lighter pink color represents, those teens below zero. Friday morning, though, much colder still, seeing a lot more teens below zero across the region Friday morning. So we'll have to keep an eye on Friday morning especially, but it basically means the latter half of the week, during the morning commute at least, it's going to be frigid. Make sure to bundle up. As for precipitation chances, again, looking at there's a couple of isolated chances Monday and the upcoming weekend, and here's what that looks like on our first look forecast here. A weak cold front. Remember that that warm-up expected on Monday? That's in part thanks to a clipper system that will slide in from Canada on Monday morning, lifting some warm air from the south and forcing temperatures to rise in those teens. But notice that in return, we'll see a few snow showers pushing in late morning, early afternoon in the Northern Valley, northwest Minnesota. Very little moisture expected with those showers, though. By around 3 to 4 o'clock at the latest, they're out of our region. And thereafter, we're left with partly sunny skies for the rest of the week. Plenty of sunshine expected for the rest of the week. However, as we get towards the weekend, models vary on what exactly is expected this weekend. But generally, it looks like we could see some isolated precipitation chances for the upcoming weekend. Maybe a couple of showers expected for this coming Saturday and Sunday. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Models do vary on the exact timing, precipitation amounts, and basically they even vary on whether we'll see any precipitation at all for the upcoming weekend. We'll just have to keep an eye on the upcoming weekend, but basically just stick with Valley News Live. We'll keep you updated on that. But the main story, again, that bitter cold that lasts into Monday morning, and then that seasonable cold throughout the rest of the work week, which means, again, keep the heavy clothing in line, keep the winter jacket gear, keep the hat and the gloves next to you, for example. Make sure to dress in those warm, loose layers. And also understand the symptoms of frostbite. You can see on screen right there. For example, if you're feeling numb, for example, if your skin feels waxy or firm, just keep an eye that may be developing the symptoms of frostbite. And so make sure to warm up the infected area, but don't use direct heat and don't rub or massage that frostbitten skin. That could damage it either way. Recapping one final time, First Alert Weather Day continuing into Monday morning. By Monday afternoon, our First Alert Weather Day will expire. That's because we'll basically get out of that Arctic air mass briefly with highs in the teens above zero, not below, above zero, high of 15 above for Monday afternoon. And then we'll stay in the single digits for highs and sub-zero lows for the rest of January, with maybe seeing some bitter cold settling in Thursday and Friday morning too. So Thursday and Friday morning especially, frigid weather indeed. And then heading into early February, we will warm up into the teens to maybe even low 20s. So we are going to see warmer temperatures as we transition into early February. So that is the good news there. Now, I'll be back on for Valley News Live at 9 and 10, so be sure to tune into those shows. I've also been giving periodic updates on the VNN First Alert weather app, so be sure to have the notifications turned on as we First Alert track this Arctic air. And I'll also be back on tomorrow night at Valley News Live at 9 and 10 if you're not able to watch any of tonight's shows. So I'll still be around. Just be sure to watch those shows if you want to get your latest First Alert forecast, or keep the VNN weather app handy if you want the latest First Alert forecast too. In the meantime, make sure to take precautions to protect yourself against the cold. Have a wonderful night.